Hello, this is Lee Thomas, and you're watching Road Car Review. Hello, today we're going to be looking at a 2004 Lexus RX330. But first I got to tell you a couple things. Actually, the company that I used to work for that allowed me so much travel time, I'm no longer with that firm, and so my resources for cars has depleted. So I still have a couple more that I can actually look at and we'll be able to do some reviews on. But I'm not going to be able to do this once a week, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be able to do with this program. So that's going to kind of put a little cramp in our style here. But wanted to kind of go through this car. This car here was actually purchased new back in 2004. Only had 9 miles on it. Right now it has 83,002 miles on it. A great car. The thing about Lexus, if you're looking for a luxurious ride, that's the thing. You're not looking for towing capacity, because the towing capacity on this is about 3,000 pounds. I'm not quite sure what that'd tow. Maybe a Sea-Doo or a couple jet skis, something like that, but nothing very big. It is an RX330 is kind of the mid-range SUVs, probably in comparison to the BMW X3, the Equinox. Those, when we were looking for this car, it took us about a year. Lexus was not on our list, but my wife wanted a really comfortable ride, and so what we started doing is we started looking at those Equinoxes, the Envoys, and the Equinox was about $10,000 cheaper, probably even less than that. I think the Jeep was also in on that, where we could have got it fully decked out for about $28,000. But then the Envoy, which was very comparable in price. Now, a couple things that you give up. When you're looking at an Envoy, it is a truck base, and so it did have a lot higher towing capacity, and its seat had seated a lot more. I actually think there were 3 rows of seats in there. It'll comfortably sit 3, but it will sit 5. It's got a lot of cargo space. In the cargo area, I'll tell you a little bit of difference, because there is a $10,000 difference between these. These based at about $36.75, but with the options on this one here, got up to right at $42. It does not have nav in it, which I'm really glad now that we didn't get, being that for $100 you can buy a navigation system that is far superior than what's in these cars. But you kind of go, okay, well, what makes the difference? What is that $10,000 that makes the difference? Starting out, it does have a 3.3 liter 24 valve 4-cam engine in it, 230 horsepower, so quite a bit of horsepower, although there is now a 350, and we've driven one of those, and that has a lot more power. This is all-time all-wheel drive. It gets gas mileage, they say 18 to 24 highway, and it was getting high 20, it could get up into the 26s, but very recently we saw that gas mileage went down dramatically to almost 20, and I decided to look at the air filter, put a K&M air filter in this, and the gas mileage is back up. I'm real interested to see where it's going to be at. A couple other things is it does have tilt steering wheel up and down, memory control on seats. The leather in these things it's probably the softest leather that I've ever felt, with exception of if you get into a Bentley or anything that's a little bit more, but very buttery feel on the leather. Heated seats. It does have the burl wood trim, and as you can see, the fit and finish it actually gets into a multiple different colors and multiple different changes of materials. Leather panels on the side. Windshield wipers are intermittent just like everybody else's, although it has a sensor, and it senses the rain and it automatically does what it needs to do, similar to your lights turning on and off. This does have single control sunroof. It has heated side mirrors. It does have, which I don't understand this at all, windshield, not windshield, but headlamp water sprayers. I don't get it because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. There's no windshield wipers on them or wipers. It just sprays water on it. 6 CD changer, cassette deck, which is always good. The entire unit is very sound. It does have a power trunk up and down, special rails on the top, so you can put additional storage. The engine is really clean, as you can tell from the pictures. But this being an 04, we just not had any problems with it. The one thing that we did have, and if you have an 04, you do need to take a look at this. They've extended a warranty. It hadn't been a recall, but the radiator produces a little leak in one of the valve areas. And it was one of those I was getting ready to have fixed, and it was going to be about $400 to $600. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to call the Lexus dealer. I called them, and they said, we've extended the warranty on that, and we'll get that taken care of, and there wasn't any charge on that. So great from that standpoint. I think that's about it on the other options. It has been, over these 80,000 miles, just a great car. There's always been kind of a little funny thing going on in our family as it pertains to the oil change, because one of the things is Lexus doesn't have but 3 different locations in the state of Indiana, and those are Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, and Evansville. Evansville being about 4.5 hours away, Indianapolis an hour, Fort Wayne being about an hour and 10. We bought it in Fort Wayne. Great dealer up there. But one of the things we always teased about, during that first 4 years, they would actually come down and they'd pick up your car, take it up, do whatever maintenance needed to happen on, whether it's oil change or anything like that, free of charge, with the exception of you spent about $56 on the oil change. We always called it the $300 oil change. My wife likes to shop, and one of the things that we would do is we would get up in the morning on a Saturday, drive the 75 miles there, 75 miles back, so you've got gas. We normally stop at Starbucks, so that would cost. We'd have the oil change, and it was $56. Just so you know, oil change is about $30. It depends. You really have to check with your local Lexus dealer on that. But they'd always wash it, detail it out, so that was worth something to us. But then we would have lunch and go shopping. So by the time we were done and she spent money, it would be about $300. But it was a great day to get something done. All in all, the car has been fantastic. We've had it now for 6 years. Really have had no, really anything wrong with it. We've replaced some tires and replaced brakes, which at 80,000 miles you would think something like that. Gas mileage is okay, anywhere from 18 to 24, highway at 24. You know, we did a little test on a Suburban, and the Suburban was getting about 19.5 to 20, and the 2-wheel version gets 21. A lot larger vehicle, can do a lot more, but it just depends upon what you want. Take a look at this car. Take a look at some of the used ones. I think the 04s are still getting in the 20s, which is not bad for a 6-year-old car if you're looking for an investment. Good solid car. We'll probably keep this another, it'll be well over 100,000 miles. But I'm Lee Thomas, and this is Road Car Review. Catch you the next time.